People always say tragedy comes out of nowhere, that it blindsides you. But if I'm honest, mine came slowly, like water leaking behind a wall, quiet, rotting things from the inside out. I'm Iris, 34, music teacher. Mom to a 15-year-old daughter who's smarter and more emotionally mature than half the adults I know. And until recently, I was married to Mateo. We were high school sweethearts. First kiss in the band room, first everything, really. I got pregnant a week after graduation, and we didn't hesitate. We got married, moved into a small apartment near my parents, and built what we thought was a life. For years, we were happy, or at least I thought we were. We'd sit at the dinner table with our daughter Lena, passing mashed potatoes while giggling over whatever silly thing she said that day. We didn't have money, but we had routines, laughter, comfort. He used to text me just to say he missed me. But happiness doesn't always leave with a bang. Sometimes it dissolves. It started when Lena was about 10. Mateo began working late, first once a week, then twice. He'd say, networking drinks, or team dinners, weekends filled with golf games and seminars. He still came home. He still kissed me on the cheek, but something in his eyes was blank, absent. I tried not to push. I thought, he's tired, stressed. The economy's rough. Everyone's stretched thin. He never changed jobs, never switched departments. I'd ask who he was meeting, and he'd say, no one you know. I'd try to sound supportive, but my voice always came out too soft, like even I didn't believe myself anymore. Eventually, the updates dwindled into cold text messages. Eating. Late. Don't wait up. I stopped setting 3 plates for dinner. Lena noticed too. She didn't say anything, but I caught her quietly scraping his plate into the trash more than once. We made our own world. Movie nights, baking disasters, late-night piano duets. It wasn't perfect, but it was something. Still, I missed him. Even when I hated myself for missing him. I'm a music teacher. I've taught piano since I was 16. For years, I dreamed of opening my own studio, just a modest room in our future home, soundproofed, with space for a grand piano. I'd even picked out paint swatches once. Soft blue walls, floating shelves for metronomes and books. But we still lived in a rental, and the dream stayed folded up in the corner of my mind. One Saturday morning, I decided to speak. Mateo was home, rare. Lena had stayed at her friend Lily's overnight. We were alone, in that strange quiet that fills a house when the teenager's out. He was scrolling his phone in the kitchen. I placed his coffee on the counter. He didn't look up. Hey, I started gently. I've been thinking. Maybe we should look into buying. He blinked. Buying what? A house, even something small, something we can call ours. Lena's getting older and I'd love to set up a proper studio at home. He laughed. Not a chuckle. A sharp, mocking kind of laugh. Iris, I'm 36. If we take out a mortgage now, we'll be in debt until retirement, assuming we even make it that far. And we missed our window anyway. You're supposed to buy when your kid's little, raise them there. What's the point now? I felt my throat tighten. It's not about Pinterest. It's about independence. Security, you hate paying rent. He grabbed his keys. I'm not talking about this. We can't afford it, end of story. And then he left. No kiss, no goodbye. The coffee sat untouched. That night, I stood by the kitchen window staring at the rain. Lena was still out. I didn't even know if Mateo was coming home. I hadn't heard from him all day. By 10:30, I'd checked my phone a dozen times. By 11, I was pacing. And then I did something that still feels surreal. I grabbed my keys and got in the car. He hadn't asked me to pick him up. I didn't even know where he was for sure. But I remembered him casually mentioning the commuter train earlier that week, something about drinks downtown. It was a stupid impulse, but I just missed him. I missed us. Maybe I thought if he saw me there waiting, it would stir something. That we'd drive home in silence, but not angry silence. Maybe we'd talk. Maybe he'd tell me where his heart had gone. I parked near the train station, a block from the platform. It was still raining, that soft kind of drizzle that makes everything look blurry. The lot was nearly empty. I leaned back in my seat and stared at the arrival screen glowing through the wet windshield. A train pulled in. People trickled out. And then I saw him. Mateo. He stepped off the train wearing the same gray coat he always wore. His gait was casual, comfortable. But he wasn't alone. A woman walked beside him, holding a red umbrella. She was pretty in that soft, professional way. Tan coat, low heels, quiet lipstick. And a boy. 5, maybe 6, wearing a bright yellow backpack with a shark on it. The woman said something. Mateo laughed. Then he kissed her. Not on the cheek, on the mouth. And the boy reached up and grabbed Mateo's hand like it was the most natural thing in the world. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. A buzzing started in my ears, the kind that blocks out sound and sense. I didn't see the light turn red. I didn't see the truck coming from the left. I only remember the slam, the way my body lifted, the crunch of metal and glass and bone, and then nothing. Just black, like falling into the deepest part of the ocean. The first thing I felt was cold. The second was absence. I tried to move my legs. Only one responded. Panic wrapped around my chest like a rope. I looked down, pulled back the blanket, and screamed. My left leg was gone. Clean off below the knee, no warning, no bandages to hide the horror. Just smooth gauze and empty space. A nurse rushed in, then Lena. She was crying and trying not to let me see. "You're awake," she whispered, brushing hair off my forehead. "Oh, thank God." "What? What happened?" My voice cracked like a dry leaf. "There was an accident. A truck. At the station." Of course the station. I didn't remember the crash. Just the moment before. The umbrella. The kiss. And then, "I'll get the doctor," Lena said quickly. "And I'll call Dad." She was gone before I could speak. The next few hours blurred. Doctors spoke in soft tones about nerve trauma, miraculous survival, and life adjustments. I nodded but heard nothing. I wasn't thinking about prosthetics or wheelchairs. I was thinking about that little boy's hand in Mateo's, about how easily he'd kissed that woman. 3 days later, I was discharged and wheeled into our apartment. Everything I once did without a second thought, cooking, showering, moving between rooms, was now an ordeal. Our kitchen was too narrow. The bathroom was a maze. My wheelchair scraped walls, bruised knuckles, got stuck on carpets. Mateo tried, at first. He came home earlier, cooked a few times, even offered to help with dressing, but it felt hollow, perfunctory, like he was checking a box so no one could say he hadn't. He avoided eye contact, never touched me. Once, I caught him wincing when I asked for help getting into bed. "I'm sorry," I whispered, humiliated. He just said, "Don't worry about it," and walked out of the room. Lena tried her best. She made tea, fluffed pillows, painted my nails. But I couldn't meet her eyes. I felt like I had failed her, like half of me had died, and the other half didn't know how to mother anymore. I began drifting. Sleep during the day, numbness at night. One Tuesday afternoon, Mateo came in, tossed his keys on the counter, and looked at me with the same detached tone he used with customer service reps. "I think we should separate." I stared at him, stunned. "Are you serious?" "I can't do this, Iris." "You're different now. This is all too heavy. The constant emotions, the helplessness. I didn't sign up to be a caregiver. I felt the words like stones." "I didn't sign up to lose a leg, Mateo." He shrugged. "I just don't see the point of dragging this out." We're both miserable. I should have yelled, screamed, demanded answers. But I didn't. I just said, "Fine." He blinked. "Seriously? You want a divorce? You'll get it. But you're coming with me to tell your parents." His jaw twitched. "What? Why?" "Because I gave them 20 years of my life. They deserve to hear it from both of us." He hesitated, then nodded. "Fine. Tomorrow?" "Tomorrow." But I had a plan. That night, as Lena slept, I went into the closet and pulled down a box Mateo probably forgot existed. Inside were the old hard drives and SD cards from our previous car, a dash cam I'd insisted on getting years ago after a near miss. When we traded in the old car last year, he never bothered to delete the old recordings. My fingers shook as I loaded the SD card into my laptop, and there it was, the footage from the night of the crash, rain streaking down the windshield, the glow of the platform, and then Mateo. Red umbrella, the woman, the kiss, the child. I paused the frame, zoomed, clear as day. It wasn't just a girlfriend, it was another family. I rewound again and again, watching until my stomach turned. And then I remembered that moment, right before the crash. I had seen it. My brain had locked the image away in trauma. Now it returned, sharp as broken glass. I spent the next hours digging, emails, old phone bills, bank statements. I cross-referenced everything. Then I called a private investigator. By morning, I had more than footage. I had addresses, names, and birth certificates. The boy's name was Logan. His mother, Ashley. She'd been receiving quiet transfers from Mateo's account for over a year. The two of them had a shared lease on a townhouse in another suburb. Utilities, furniture, prepaid school tuition. He hadn't just cheated. He had started over, and I had paid the price for discovering it. The next day, Mateo helped wheel me to his parents' home. Bella opened the door, her smile freezing as she saw me. "Oh, sweetheart." "You poor thing," Landon appeared behind her. "We meant to visit the hospital." "It's okay," I said gently. "I'm just glad we could come by now." We sat in the living room. Mateo fidgeted. "So," I said, folding my hands calmly, "we're here because Mateo would like to file for divorce." Bella gasped. "What?" Mateo cleared his throat. "It's nothing dramatic. Things have changed. Iris, well, she's different now. I just don't think—" "You don't think what?" Landon interrupted. "That this is fair to either of us," Mateo snapped. "She's disabled," I said quietly. "The word is disabled." Bella looked stricken. "Sweetheart, we didn't know—" "It's fine. Really, I understand. Mateo wants out. I won't fight it." Mateo let out a breath, relieved. "But before I sign anything," I added, "there's something I'd like you to see." I pulled out the laptop from my bag and opened the screen. I'd clipped the footage to 30 seconds, enough to say everything. "Please watch closely," I told them. Bella and Landon leaned in. Mateo frowned. The video played. Rain, platform, umbrella, kiss, the child reaching for Mateo's hand. I paused the frame. Silence. Landon blinked. "Mateo, is that—" Bella whispered. "That's not Lena." I turned the screen toward Mateo. "You didn't think I'd remember. You thought the crash wiped it clean." His face drained of color. "You told me I was dramatic. A burden. You wanted a divorce because of this." I tapped my thigh. "But the truth is, you just didn't want to get caught." Landon sat back hard in his chair. Bella covered her mouth. Mateo stammered. "You went through my stuff?" I smiled. "No, I went through mine." The room was silent. Bella stared at the paused video frame. Mateo, her son, was frozen on screen with a woman and a child neither of his parents recognized. Landon's hands were clenched in his lap, his jaw set tight. Mateo still hadn't spoken. I closed the laptop gently. "His name is Logan," I said, voice even. "He's 6. I've seen the birth certificate. I've seen the bank transfers. I've seen the lease for the townhouse they live in, shared utilities, shared school bills." She lists Mateo as an emergency contact. Bella gasped like someone had punched the air from her lungs. "I hired a private investigator," I added. "He found everything in a matter of days. Mateo's been living 2 lives. Iris—" Bella's voice cracked. "I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything. I didn't come here for apologies. I came here for clarity." I turned to Mateo. "You lied to me. You abandoned your family. You made me feel like dead weight while you were off raising a second child like ours never existed. And when I caught you, accidentally, you let me get hit by a truck." Mateo flinched. "You knew I saw you." "I saw the way you froze. You knew I remembered, eventually. That's why you pushed so hard for a quick divorce. You thought you could walk away clean." Bella whispered, "Is that true?" Mateo finally spoke. "I never meant for this to happen. It just got out of hand. It got someone's leg cut off," I said flatly. "It nearly got me killed." No one moved. Then I took a breath. "But I'm not here to destroy you." Everyone looked up. "I'm here for a deal." Mateo blinked. Deal?" I nodded. "You want a divorce? Fine. I'll sign the papers today. I won't go public. I won't tell Lena, yet. I'll give you your second chance with your shiny new life." He tilted his head, suspicious. "What's the catch?" "There's no catch," I said calmly. "Just a price." Bella looked panicked. "How much do you want?" I turned to her, keeping my tone soft but firm. "I don't want money. I want independence. A home that fits me now. A space where I can teach, earn, move freely." "You mean a new apartment?" Bella asked. I shook my head. "A custom-built, wheelchair-accessible home. Single level, open concept, no stairs, wide doorways, an ADA-compliant kitchen. And one large studio room with proper soundproofing, lighting, and a Yamaha grand piano. Mateo scoffed. That'll cost hundreds of thousands. I turned to him, expression ice cold. Then you better get to work. Bella looked at her son, then at me. You'd really keep quiet? For that? I nodded. I'm not looking for revenge. I'm looking for a life. Landon stood slowly. We'll make it happen. Mateo choked. Dad, we'll make it happen. Landon repeated, staring at him, and you'll make the payments until every dime is covered. 3 months later, I rolled into the foyer of my new home. It was everything I'd pictured in the long, sleepless nights after the crash. Warm wood floors, 0 thresholds, pull-out counters, smart lighting I could control with my voice, bathroom rails, ramps disguised as garden paths, and best of all, light. So much light. In the back was the studio. My studio. A spacious soundproof room with blue walls, adjustable height benches, storage for sheet music, and a brand new Yamaha Grand, its polished surface reflecting the soft morning sun. There was a small lounge corner for parents, shelves with books and instruments, and Lena's touch, a corkboard full of drawings from my first new students. Because I had students now, lots of them. Word spread quickly about a piano teacher who taught from a wheelchair, who understood rhythm and resilience. I became a bit of a story in the community, not a spectacle, but a symbol. And Lena thrived. She volunteered to help during lessons, quietly assisting with new kids who were too shy to speak. She brought her own keyboard into the studio and practiced next to me when my day ended. She told me one night, I want to go to music school. Maybe even open a second studio with you one day. I cried quietly while she spoke, but she didn't see. She was too busy mapping out her dream. As for Mateo, I saw him exactly once after the house was finished. He came by with a check, part of the agreement. He was thinner, paler. The circles under his eyes had sunk deep. I'm supposed to drop this off, he said, holding the envelope like it burned. I took it without a word. Lena doesn't respond to my messages, he added after a pause. She knows the basics, I said. That you were unfaithful. That you left. She doesn't want details. She just doesn't want lies. He swallowed. And Logan? I raised an eyebrow. That's your problem now. I didn't slam the door. I didn't insult him. I didn't ask why he never visited me in the hospital, or why he never confessed, or why he thought I was too broken to be worth keeping. I didn't need to, because I already had everything he threw away. Iris's journal, 6 months later. Lena and I watched the sunset from the back porch tonight. She played a new melody she's writing, something slow, full of hope. My studio has a wait list. Kids laugh in my hallway. The house smells like citrus candles and sheet music. My leg is gone, but I'm not. I'm here, still playing, still teaching, still moving forward.